Hello and welcome back to the Sidescape Gaming Podcast, episode 33. I'm your host, Jake Burke, and joined always by James St. Charles and the champion of Duelist Kingdom himself, Ted.
Oh no,
Libby.
I thought we weren't going to talk about
Wow.
that.
We're going to talk about it. Oh yeah,
Beautiful.
you Yu-Gi-Oh playing son of a bitch. How you boys doing? It's been a while. It's been multiple
minute.
weeks.
It's been some time.
Yeah. How's everyone doing?
It's felt like months because we're on COVID time, but it's been great.
I saw a great thing on like a little meme on Facebook, and it was October 12th marks the 5th year anniversary of when COVID started, or when 2020 started. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
Feels like a long time.
Days are weeks, weeks are months, months are years.
Crazy, but it also feels super fast because we are like 1 month away from the Xbox and the PlayStation. New consoles.
It doesn't even feel like it's
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oof.
Then Cyberpunk.
Y'all got your pre-orders in?
I got my Xbox Series S pre-order, but couldn't get PS5. Got it into my cart and then it crashed. Yeah.
But price is good.
No, price is great. Price on all of them is great. Though I'm a little nervous. Apparently there's something coming out about how the Series S may not play everything the Series X can play.
What?
I don't know if anyone else saw this. I've not read much into it, but I was reading like it's definitely not going to play obviously at 4K, but like there might be some.
That doesn't sound like any of their marketing.
No,
up to this point.
Like backwards compatible or new stuff.
Like new stuff. Like for right now when launch, they can play everything, but there might be games developed eventually that the S can't play. So that's a little scary. As a person buying an S, I'm like, ooh, that's not good.
Well, you bought it for.
It's my Game Pass machine, for $300.
Yeah. You might buy another $300 one down the line.
Yeah, like the S2 or whatever.
Pay less, but upgrade more often. So they ultimately might.
And they probably have good resale value too.
Oh, I'm sure because they're really limited too. Yeah, like the S and the digital only edition of PlayStation 5.
Honestly, just scalp it.
You're good. God, I hated that.
Just sell that bitch for $700.
I can't do that. I'm too honest. You don't know why I'm too honest? Because this is the 33rd episode of the Sidescape Gaming Podcast, where every Monday morning a new episode goes live on YouTube.com, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Once a week, we sit down and talk about sit down and Skype across 500 miles to talk about a gaming-related topic and what games we are playing. After a month and a half break, we are back to talk about purely what we've been playing in the month and a half. And if you enjoy the show, remember to subscribe, like, and maybe leave a comment. And please tell somebody you know about us, like your mom, your best friend. Let's get the viewer count up.
Tell your mom.
Tell your mom.
Just go tell someone.
Get your mom to subscribe. Gunnar, I'm going to talk to you. Go talk to your mom for us. Sidescape. Give it to her.
Everyone get your moms to subscribe.
Everyone get your moms to subscribe.
That's our campaign.
That's our campaign. Sidescape, where the moms learn about gaming. Oh.
Sidescape, mom friendly.
Mom friendly. We're mom friendly.
Unlike Dead Space 2.
Not mom friendly. Mom unfriendly. So Ted, I want to start with you because we mentioned in the show that you are a duelist.
We didn't mention this on the show. I texted you privately.
No, well, I just mentioned it earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was.
What games are you playing? And I want to start with, obviously, this Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, Dark Dimensions, Shattered Illusions.
Yeah, that's the full title.
That's the title, right?
Link Evolution, Dark Dimensions.
So what is it actually called?
Legacy of the Duelist.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, Link Evolution.
Okay. Wow, so Legacy of the Duelist is real.
Yes.
Yeah, that part is real. Legacy of the Duelist came out in like 2017, and then this Link Evolution is the update for the newest thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which I haven't even played that, but
don't.
Should I?
It's a lot. Okay, hold on. I have a little post-it that explains it all.
Oh my god.
I started rewatching the show because it's on Amazon Prime.
You started rewatching Yu-Gi-Oh!
Or the new show?
The old show.
Good. The old show's a classic.
Yeah, just because it's it's goofy, it's fun, and I was like, oh man, I should play some Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
But my cards, of course, are locked away in a basement somewhere.
Remember when we used to look at your old cards, like way back when?
Yeah.
You have any good ones?
Times.
Yeah, and they're still relevant, which is kind of the crazy thing.
I got my Blue Eyes White Dragon right here.
Yeah, that's still a legal card.
Yeah, it is.
In Yu-Gi-Oh, they just make new cards and they don't ever get rid of old cards. And
they ban cards though, but
there's a ban list.
But they just keep the same.
Yeah, there's like 11,000 playable cards right now.
There's like one format.
What?
I think there's the oldest format. But...
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so a lot of the cards that I got in 2002 apparently are still worth something in the game. I mean,
yeah.
Mirror Force is still worth them.
Yeah. Anyway, I downloaded the mobile app, the Duel Links, which is a terrible, terrible game.
Yes, it's not good.
I can't even describe how complicated it is. It's like there's 13 kinds of currencies.
Jesus.
Just to farm out real cards. There are loot boxes, there are set boxes, there are
It's a gotcha game.
Yeah, there are tokens that like you can turn in for specific cards that you have to.
But this isn't the same game that you've been playing on PC.
No.
Okay.
But it is on PC. So just you can play this game.
It is a mobile game that is on PC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I tried to look up guides, and like literally one of the guides I looked up just said, just pay money, just spend about $400. That's how you do this. And I was
you have to spend money to get the deck you want, and all the time, if you don't spend money, you're just playing with these like half-hearted cards. Like, oh, I got this card, I'll just throw it in there and just good luck.
So yeah, I mentioned it to James, and he told me to look into this game, which is kind of great. It's
I like it.
All of Yu-Gi-Oh, the card game, the trading card game from when it came out, the year 2000.
When it came out, when it first came out, all the way.
The 2019 set, so 20 years. Fully programmed in the game, just the cards, just the game
every
setup
mechanic,
as is. Which is really cool. And the way it works is they just go through the anime deck or duel by duel, and you just play it with the story deck.
So you're telling me I can play against Mako Tsunami?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
It plays the exact story, which is great with the exact cards. That's why I love playing it.
Are you playing as Yugi, or are you?
You play whoever it is. So
whoever is the duel is.
Oh,
there's the one where Joey fights
Bandit Keith.
That's the best one.
Bandit Keith is the best.
Bandit
It's
Keith.
2 words. It's dweeb and dude.
Yeah.
So
are you taking control of their decks, or are you playing with your own deck?
Either or.
You can play your own
full deck editor.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do the exact duel, like with
that's
the exact
cool.
cards,
I would love to do that. That'd be super fun.
So that's when I texted you at late at night. I was just blown away that like
at like midnight. It was like late.
Jake, wake up.
You sent me a picture.
It was really neat.
Okay.
And so that's how it works. So I've played through all of the OG Yu-Gi-Oh. Yep. Do you guys remember how to play?
Yeah.
Yes.
I played a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Me too.
They have added so much more.
So
much more since then.
I don't even know what Link Summon is. I think I stopped with
Link. I'm
Link.
about to start the second.
I'll explain Pendulum Summon.
GX. Oh, please don't. It's so stupid. But yeah, no. They have added 5 or 6 more mechanics that all can combo off of each other.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So I played the tutorial of each one because I was like, I want to know what they've done. And the beginning makes a lot of sense. Attack, defense mode, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Second one, you're like, oh, there's this new kind of combo summon. Third one, there's a weird summon with resources involved. And then there's a one where there's a pendulum summoning?
Pendulum summoning.
Where you can summon things in a range.
Yeah, so you have like a 1, like let's say you have like a 1 level pendulum and an 8 level pendulum. Anything between 1 to 8 you could just put out there every turn. Just like summon it. Just plop it down. It's called pendulum summoning. And they have effects.
And now there's something called link summoning, which is the newest thing that has to do with positions on the mat. If you remember the game mat.
Yeah, it has like little like triangles that like where you can position.
And the tutorial is really fun just because you go to the end, which I did first, obviously.
Of course.
And they're just having you do like 22 part combos to win in 2 turns.
Jesus.
And this is just standard fare for how Yu-Gi-Oh is.
I mean, we all know Magic, so every deck is like a combo deck, and you win in like 2-3 turns.
As a person that stopped playing with Elemental Heroes was like the last thing I remember.
Same.
Can you go back and just play like set, the original all the way to Elemental Heroes?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can play Yu-Gi-Oh regular, Yu-Gi-Oh GX, and just stay there. Like there's even modes where you can only use those cards.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's very so on a scale of easy to learn, hard to master. The easy to learn part is definitely there, and you can definitely just relive your nostalgia, which is super cool.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And it's enclosed. Like you don't have to spend a bunch of money to get those cards.
That's the next
is there microtransactions in the game?
There is, but like they're expansions. Like it's like a campaign.
No, there isn't. Not in Link Evolution. There is nothing. There is no way to spend extra money. It's ridiculous.
Never mind.
It's made by Konami, the company that literally sells slot machines.
Oh yeah, the pachinko business.
Pachinko.
Yeah. And there is no outside money that you can spend.
Wow.
It's just a matter of grinding for these like era specific card packs.
Yes.
Dumb. It's not great, but it's also not my real money, which is really nice.
That's cool.
And you get enough currency per duel to unlock like 3 packs time.
That's cool.
So I'll just play 6 duels in the morning with my morning coffee, and then just open up like 45 packs.
How much is the game?
Like $40.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
No.
Okay.
2 reasons. One, it's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
It's
a big reason.
It's if like to get into modern Yu-Gi-Oh is getting these really elaborate decks with crazy combos and just beating somebody before they know what's going on. And that's the biggest problem with this game is there is no battle log.
Oh.
No,
which is like the biggest oversight in a card game.
Yeah.
So I'll play a difficult challenge deck or whatever, which has them playing a magic card, and then they do this, and then they combo this, and there's 4 or 5 different things, and it all just happens. And then I have to go into the graveyard and just read each ability and try and figure out what they did. There isn't any step-by-step descriptor of how the combo went down.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling with the original Yu-Gi-Oh cards still, and it only gets worse from here.
So, question, just and then we can transition. But with the card games, you're unlocking packs. You're making your own decks. You have say like multiple decks in different eras and stuff. That's cool.
Yep.
Can you play people online?
Yes.
So there is a not matchmaking system, just an online dueling system that is like old school. Just make a room. Join a room.
Yeah.
And I think you can set. Do you want to just free play it, or do you want to play the actual like tournament rule set?
Yep.
And then there's also a draft mode, which is free.
That's cool.
The draft is pretty fun.
You just click it and it says like you'll get 8 packs. So I think that's
almost never been done in the show, except for one episode where I think
they do draft.
They draft. It's like Joey versus Duke Devlin. Remember that?
Yeah. It's before Dungeon
and they
Dice
just open
Monsters.
up a bunch of packs and they build a deck. Which like you would never do that, but you can do that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but there's in-game multiplayer drafting. It's
that's cool.
Just part of the deal, which is this really fun.
That's fun.
Cool way to kind of learn the basics of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's not good to master. It's not a good place to simulate your top level strats.
That's really cool though.
I think it's worth it at half price.
Yeah,
$20. Play the campaign a little bit.
I think it'd be fun to like play each other with old cards
and much more just to kind of get.
You want to play each other with old cards? That's fun.
Yeah, just to read some of the cards.
Yeah,
I think it's really fun. I don't think I'm gonna get into Yu-Gi-Oh or even into this game. I'm currently looking up.
That's not worth. But Yu-Gi-Oh's cheap, except for some $200 cards. But
so there are ways to just hack the game and just get yourself unlimited money and open unlimited card packs.
Oh yeah.
Which I think I might do just for fun, just to mess around with building unfair Exodia decks and.
Well, that's the thing. Like when you were telling me about this game, I was like, it'd be amazing if the game just had a card pool with you could just build a deck out of any card you wanted.
Yeah,
I was like, that's a game that I'd play because then it's like we're just building decks and seeing if we can build better decks to play.
Against each other. I am looking into cheating. Right now.
Good job.
Try and just get that, and because I don't ever want to play this online. I don't want to beat people necessarily. I just want to mess around with fun decks that I think could be cool.
Could be cool. Yeah. Very cool. What else have you been playing, Ted? Besides Yu-Gi-Oh, Duel Links, Evolution X 350.
360.
The one and only.
360, excuse me.
Supergiant's own Hades.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have a big talk here. Could we actually save the Hades talk for the end because we've all played Hades?
Yep.
I think that'd be a good way to do this. Kind of our Hades review at the end of this. Have you been playing anything else, Ted? Nope. Is important.
Just those 2.
Okay. Well, there you go. James, what have you been playing?
I just got one game we could talk about because Hades is a lot, but we talked about it before. But Genshin Impact is probably one of the best free-to-play gacha games ever made, but also right now it's just I think they made back their money for the initial investment in like a week or 2.
Yeah, they made $100 million already.
Yeah,
it is
in the US.
Bonkers that people are spending money because that's how you lose the game.
So
you spend the money on these games, you lose.
Explain what Genshin Impact is for people that don't know.
Okay, so Genshin Impact is what we call a gacha game, which is you pay money to like get levels, to get items, to get characters, and of course like they have different tiers. So there's like 4-star characters, which are suck. Then there's 5-star characters, which hit like a truck. So your goal is to try and roll. You get currency to roll, and they give you currency. Like, hey, here's a little something. But you never have enough because so they make you want to, pay money to get it so you can roll because it's like chance. So you get like 0.6% chance to get like this 5-star character who will like literally clear every single like boss that you want. Or
correct in saying that a gacha game is just a video game built around a slot machine mechanic?
Yes.
Is that what's going on?
That's basically it. And they're popular though because it started in Japan and there's Azure Lane is a big popular one. There's and that's just like literally just rolling for characters and.
Right.
But anyways, this has if that was all the game was, it'd suck. But it's like we were talking about. It's literally Breath of the Wild. Like that is the game. It is that scope. The enemy camps are almost similar.
I heard that like the enemies look almost identical to the
like when I start playing.
Yeah,
the gliding is the same. It has the glide.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So it's such a clone, and it's free. This game is free.
It's on PS4, amazing. Switch, and PC, I believe.
Yep,
and phones.
And phones.
Yeah, you can play it on mobile. Yeah,
that's cool. Is it cross progression? Do you have like one account?
Yes, cross progression
on
one account.
Everything except PlayStation for some reason.
Oh, that makes sense.
They're trying to fix.
Oh, it's like an error.
Yeah,
okay, I don't know if somebody like blocked it.
Yeah, and apparently the phone version is not that great, but people are saying it is just like the open up your dailies and do the inventory management stuff
you just
of the game.
Do daily stuff.
So
Don't kill
playing the game on their computer, and then they'll turn it off before bed, get on their phone, and then just do all of the busy work stuff on their phone.
That's cool.
Which sounds kind of ingenious.
Yeah, if I could do that with Avengers right now, I would.
It's a game that you could easily like dump 30 hours in and be like, yeah, I mean, it's a free game. I dump 30 hours in and not have to pay anything. So if you want like just a quick game, and if you like exploring, that's why I like this game. It is vast and there's so much to do and look at. It's beautiful.
I heard that the story is actually really good.
It's good. The issue with the game is it gatekeeps the story behind progression. So you have to like level up like crazy just to
see other levels.
The story.
I've heard the audio is really annoying. Like the screams
English
and
voice. Do not play English voice.
That's what I heard.
You could play Chinese, which is the native, or Japanese.
Okay.
But the English voice acting sucks.
And I heard the music's a little like abrasive.
Music's okay. I actually kind of like it, but the combat music is. But like ambient and when you're exploring, it's peaceful.
So it's a free to play. And this is just because I actually I don't know much.
Gotcha.
Is it like Breath of the Wild where you're exploring and like doing puzzles to unlock stuff?
Not as many puzzles. Okay. But there are some. Like there are like areas where you have to like, go up here, bring the sigil down there. Like there's little puzzles here and there. And the point of doing the puzzles is you get treasure chests and you'll get items and you can build your class, level up stuff.
That's interesting.
It's fun. Like it's full, like it's clean.
Can you climb everything like in Breath of the Wild?
You can climb everything.
Wow.
It's Breath of the Wild. It has multiplayer.
Yeah.
But the co-op is dumb because right now it's not as good as it could be. Like there's no benefit to co-op unless you want to like really just destroy a boss with your friends, which is fun. But you're not getting anything bonus, and the loot is kind of the same. So, but single player, you can play both. You can just do single player all the way through, or do co-op with your friends, free.
That's cool. That's really cool.
What can you say?
Yeah.
As like I could talk about all the downsides, but at the end of the day, it's a great free game that you can spend money to get better, but that's not. I'm just casually approaching it.
This game might be our dark future, and I kind of want to check it out for that reason. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but the way it works is what's blocked behind a payment are characters, and characters are abilities.
Yeah. So
there's climbing.
You can't even buy the characters. You have to buy currency to give you a chance, and then also it's limited. The characters can only like sometimes they'll last like 30 days.
Wait,
and then
what?
Once 30 days passes, you cannot get that character.
Oh, again. Okay. I thought you meant like you got him and then he was gone on.
No. It's limited in the sense like the time to get him.
Limited quantity store. So Fortnite started.
You have a 0.6% chance to roll this character within this time frame, which is like some people will not get it unless they pay a lot of money to like roll.
And so you're taking control of one character and then switching to other characters that have different abilities?
You have a party of 4, and they have different abilities like fire, wind, electric, and ice. And you can switch between them mid-combat. So you can like switch between everyone and do some good combos.
Okay.
It uses elemental stuff. So if someone has like water ability and they get wet, like or you're fighting in water, you can switch to your ice and freeze them, and they'll stay frozen. So or lightning. It's really combo centric.
Are there only 4 elements, or are there many elements and you get to like choose which ones you want to use?
I think there's 13.
Okay.
Maybe
there's a bunch of different elements that like sometimes you can't even like use on a character, but they're around.
Okay.
Like wind is one, and
interesting.
And earth, and
they made a really good combat and mechanic system and then put it behind a paywall.
Yep.
That's what,
but everything about it is AAA, and I bet you we'll start seeing more of this, of just like it's a AAA game that you know and love, but also to get the thing you want out of it, it's going to cost some extra money.
Yeah, like I rolled some chick with the sword who's a 5-star character, and her combat is clean. Like she just combos within herself, whereas other characters are like slow as a truck trying to like hit someone, and you hit them for like nothing.
Yeah.
So you really want to get like the best characters, and you want to build your team around like combos to deal the most damage.
Interesting.
I've seen a lot of warnings out there from people saying like, "Hey, if you get caught up in gambling, do not do this."
Yeah, you will be like damn, I
really,
could hit harder if I spend this much money.
Yeah,
on
it's
this item.
a really fun, good game, and if you have a compulsive problem to just click it, just I'll just do it. Stay away because it will hit those buttons for you.
So that's why I try and never get into gacha.
Yeah, this is the first time, at least in my corner of the internet, people are saying like, "Hey, pay attention to this. This is scary." Which, I don't know.
Interesting.
Because like it's easy with mobile games to be like, it's a stupid mobile game, but this is a full-on AAA great title.
Full story, full.
Who
voice
developed
acting.
it? Is it like from a big developer?
It's from a Chinese developer.
It's a Chinese company.
Is it Tencent or no?
I mean, probably Tencent owns
I'm
it.
sure Tencent owns it.
Yeah.
But it was so funny because when it first came out, the download speeds for the game, it like took like 9 hours to download 12 gigs. It was insane because everyone was downloading it.
That's crazy.
They had to like open up more servers to play. But once you got in, I had no issues.
It's developed by MiHoYo.
I have no idea.
clue.
Yeah, it's a Chinese developer.
Huh.
Yeah, but this is that game that's just wow.
That's
free.
interesting. That's crazy.
They're making money because why not?
Well, okay, so that's a great way to transition to a game that I've been playing called Marvel's Avengers that maybe isn't making money anymore.
No.
So I guess it was the best-selling game of September, which is cool. All right. I've been playing Marvel Avengers, and I feel really gross about it. And that's kind of how I can say what it feels like to play Marvel Avengers. It is surprisingly better than I expected and not as good as I expected all at the same time. Mm-hmm. The single-player story is actually really good. I don't know if any of you guys have heard about it, but it's like about Kamala Khan, who's Miss Marvel, like reassembling the Avengers. And she is actually like a very strong character. And it's actually a pretty good story. The problem is, at the end of the day, it's like the big bad guy's MODOK, and who cares about MODOK? And it's obvious that like Marvel was like, you can't use good villains yet. Like we have plans to link up with our movies, like stuff that's coming. And then now all of the future plans have been delayed because they're literally fixing thousands and thousands of bugs in this game that is just broken as shit. Their first major patch fixed over 1,000 bugs, and they were like, we fixed 1,000 bugs. It's like, you released a game with like over 1,000 bugs that you knew about. It is a very bland combat game that is basically all you do is you punch robots and you shoot robots, and then you go to a new room, and it's the same room from a different level because it's just all these rooms mixed together where you punch more robots, or you break giant fans that the robots are trying to fight you. And sometimes there's bigger robots, and those are scary. And then you can either fight two villains, Taskmaster or Abomination, everybody's favorite Marvel villains. And so it's very bland.
Abomination like B-O-M-B, like Abomination?
No, sadly he's not. Like he's not a guy who holds bombs. He's like just a big lizard guy that the Hulk fights.
Okay.
Yeah, so the thing I like about it and why I keep playing it is the customization's pretty fun, and like unlocking new costumes, and I love Marvel, as got a bunch of nerd shit. And so I'm very excited about like what the game can be, and it's already getting better. Like the combat, they're fixing stuff, they're improving like how you move around social spaces, which is a whole other issue that this game has, like social spaces. But you can play it multiplayer, you can play it single player. I've never played multiplayer, and I don't ever want to. It's a game that I like to like put on a podcast to and beat some robots to death and unlock my challenge card points to get me a new Iron Man suit. And that's basically what Marvel Avengers is. And I don't recommend it at all. At all. Yeah. It is not worth $60. It is very problematic. And like we were talking with Genshin Impact, like this is, I know what the future of games wants to be. Like all these major companies want their Destiny, right? Like which Destiny sounds like they're doing it right because they don't have an overlord telling them what to do. It's Bungie being like, we just want to make the best game for the people that like this game.
Which is great. Bungie is probably one of the best like communities that backs their games or gives good feedback and they listen to the community. So that's why.
Well, that's why they got away from Activision with it, which is still crazy. But it's just a game that like you can tell, in my opinion, like playing it, Crystal Dynamics and Square had like an idea of like, we want to make like a single player awesome Avengers game where you're switching around, kind of like a Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but like AAA, where like those games always felt like single A, you know, double A. We want that. And then Disney or Square was like, how can we monetize the shit out of this and keep this thing as a live service game? And it's like,
yep.
Because there's some really fun levels in there, and then there's levels where you just punch robots, and that's every level. There's no like, you're never doing anything different.
Mix up, yeah.
Yeah, like I was thinking, like The Last of Us Part 2 had so much like things you're doing different stuff, even though you kill a lot of people. This game is just like literally punching robots.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. But I'm obsessed with unlocking new suits and dicking around, and there's nothing really to play right now, like for me. So I'm like, I got this. Yeah. I don't want a game that limits me, that I have to pay money to feel.
If you play, I guarantee you're gonna spend money.
I'm with you.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like spending money on those kind of games.
Yeah.
Like I haven't spent any real money on Avengers besides buying Avengers.
Can you?
There's.
I thought it was just costumes, just fun stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing that you can do to like unlock moves or
you're
anything.
not gatekept behind.
Yeah. No, there's no gatekeeping because you're paying $60. Like to get into the game. The only thing that I think is really bad about Avengers is that they use a lot of technical terms, and they also have like 4 different types of currency to upgrade armor and to upgrade this. And I'll get like a daily challenge and it'll say like, use the Terramana, da 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 da. I'm like, I have no idea what 3 of these things are in this one description. So I'll refresh it until it's like.
I mean, could you see this game transitioning to a free-to-play model the way Destiny did?
No, because I think the minute you start gatekeeping stuff like that, that's what makes this game not good. Like the fact that
it's already not good.
Well, right, and that's the point. I think making it free to play and then gatekeeping new characters behind money is a worse way to go about it. Yeah. The fact that like they've announced that we're gonna have like 15 DLC characters that are all free. Okay. Like the way that you make money is you spend like the in-game currency you can buy with dollars on their challenge card to unlock cosmetics.
You mean Marvel dollars or
no, they're called what are they called? Because the units are the ones you can't buy with real money, and then there's a currency that you can buy with real money, like which is called like material or something.
Yeah.
Then there's like resources, there's like urns, there's like all this different stuff for upgrading modules, and it's so complex and convoluted that it makes no sense. And then you're unlocking gear for all of your Avengers that doesn't do anything cosmetic wise, and I've never read a description of what these gears do. I just hold the trigger and it puts the best ones in the slots, and my power number goes up, and I'm like, sure. Because it's like, why are we unlocking armor for Iron Man? Like his new gauntlet does poison damage or something. I'm like, what the frick? So the gear system is horrible in this game, and it's very ungratifying.
Yeah, they try to graft a live service to a
not live service game. That's 100% what it feels like. Because like I get why that Iron Man's gauntlets don't change every time you put new gauntlets on. Like that's a lot. But then like it just comes off as like so tacked on and kind of pointless.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people play Diablo and Destiny to look different every time they get a new item.
Yeah. And so it's weird. It's very odd. But that being said, I'm probably going to keep playing it. I'm very excited for the DLC characters and to see what they do with story elements, and they get to have a little fun in this kind of weird world they built. So that's Marvel's Avengers. Now, I want to talk about the game that we've all played. James probably played a little less than Ted and I. Hades.
What's your hours at? Let's compare.
I'm at like 30 on the Switch and probably 20 on the PC.
30? Oh wow, okay.
Ted, I was on a 9. I beat Hades 9 times in a row without losing once.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds great.
I'm like really good at this game.
I haven't beat it yet. I haven't actually beat it.
Oh really? I rolled credits on it.
I have 13 and a half or something like that.
Wow.
You still haven't had one run?
Yeah.
You suck, dude.
No.
To be honest. Fucking fake gamer over here.
Probably, when do you get your first run? Probably like around 10 hours?
Yeah, you probably like 10 hours. You finally like unlock enough stuff.
Get, like enough stuff. Yeah, because that's you're like the game's built. You're not gonna get the first one right
away. So if you don't know what Hades is, first off, you're missing out. Play Hades. Hades is a roguelike game by Supergiant, who did Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre. They always have great music, characters, everything in their games. But they've managed to, what I think is the most impressive part, while Hades is a really fun roguelike dungeon crawler, the best part is like how your progress carries over each round. And like,
yes, the progress is the best part.
There are so many different ways to upgrade your guy or your relationships with like all these different characters.
Yeah.
And as you go through the dungeons, you're grabbing boons that are gifts from the Olympus gods as you try to escape hell, because you're the son of Hades. And you're trying to escape hell, and Zeus and Poseidon and Aphrodite, they're all helping you out and giving you like different powers. And then you unlock their relationships that then give you like better chances to get better stuff from them every run. And I think like the way that they've made this loop of like, it's even dying really quickly in a run is still rewarding.
Yeah.
Where like, I feel like Dead Cells is not that way.
So I was going to bring it. Dead Cells has this thing where you can go through and get items, and then you respawn and you just keep going through, which is boring.
Yep.
Like that's why I kind of like I stopped playing Dead Cells, is because you just die and restart, die, restart.
Yeah.
This one, Hades is really built around the restart after your death, like getting back into it, and you get back and like then you have to like do some management. Like, okay, you're gonna talk with this person, you're gonna talk with your dad, shoot the shit, like he's gonna like trash talk you. Yeah, you're gonna talk with one of the bosses that you beat. It's like it's just really great how it incorporates that. I think one of like when I think about roguelikes, this is that game. It's like there's a pre-Hades era and then an after Hades era, like for roguelikes, because wow, it's done stuff like I've never seen.
And I definitely think
Hades, it respects your time in a way that roguelikes have not in the past. You feel that this game is going to carry you with it for as much as you need to get good, and it's tough. You know, you're not going to get very far at the beginning, and you slowly work your way through it. It feels like it's with you that whole way, and the story really like drives that home.
Yeah,
you'll have bad runs just like any roguelike, and then you'll have like that god run, and it's just because you've been playing so much and you've unlocked these items and you understand the abilities and you understand the bosses. It is beautiful.
And what I think, I mean, so Hades, it's so funny that this game came out this year, because this game released on Epic in early access 2 years ago, and I've been playing it for like 2 years. Yeah, like I've been talking about Hades on this show since we started. And having it be a full release, it is by far better than it was in early access, like tenfold. Like they increased what this game was, and I didn't play the last 2 patches or the last patch.
Yeah, I didn't start this game until it came out.
And as I told Jake, I wouldn't do it. I would only start this game when it's 1.0.
And I restarted, like I didn't do my old save from early access. I was like, I want to go in completely new.
Nice.
Which has been really cool. What I love about this game is like all the relationships like we've been talking about, but then the characters' relationships with each other. And there are while you're doing a run, there's 3 different like main worlds, and then you go to like the kind of the last world, and you're trying to like go through. Every world has a boss. Some of them have mini bosses. And then there are like little exclamation marks that you can go to that are like almost events, I would say. Like you meet certain people, like what's his name, Sisyphus, who like pushes the boulder up the hill. He's in the first area, and he'll like give you like money or like life. Yeah. But then they start having relationships with characters that are like in the hub world. And it's like you're like carrying information back and forth between these 2 people. And it's like these people that are in love with each other, or like, you know, Achilles and this guy like have this like, you know, romantic relationship, and like they're passing along information. And it's like super cool the way that you interact with everyone, and how your relationships, even with the bosses that you're facing.
Yes.
Like there's a Hydra in the second one. And you fight the Hydra so much that eventually you learn the Hydra's first name. And now instead of when it says Hydra defeated, it says like his first name, like Lerny defeated. And so it's like, because you're now on a first name basis with the boss you keep fighting. And I think that's like what's really cool about this game, and why it's so special, and it's connecting with a lot of people that don't particularly like roguelikes. Like,
are they doing DLC for this game?
I don't think so. I think this is their game, which is great.
I doubt it.
I'm okay with that.
True, but I don't know. It just makes me think of like Binding of Isaac, like how much better the game got, like after all those little DLC updates, but with like more items or more things. Like, I mean, that's what
I think this game's DLC is getting out of early access. It's been through its like progression, if you will.
It's beautiful. I think it's such a good game. It's probably gonna be on a lot of top 10 games of the year.
Oh, I think definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think with how polarizing kind of some of the other games this year were, I think it has a good shot to be. Right? It's indie game of the year for sure. Yeah. But I just think that just Hades is this spectacular loop, and the gameplay I think is really good. I don't think it's like it's not Final Fantasy VII Remake where you're like comboing and stuff. But like the best part about it is, like we talked with Doom Eternal, you kind of start seeing like the science of the game a little bit, and like I love when you're like, oh, this is like an Athena one who does deflect, and if I can get the deflect dash combined with like this thing for my trident, and then blah blah blah, and like all these things add up, and you're like, I'm like a god right now with how much shit
once you learn your weapon, learn the enemies, learn your abilities. Oh my god, it just comes together. It's beautiful. In
so many roguelikes, you feel like the game is bringing you down, like it's against you.
Like it's purposefully hard.
Like, this is the first time where like the game is behind you in a way. Like every run, it doesn't feel like, oh god, how am I going to get screwed over?
Yep.
It's like, how am I going to get better? Buffed? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Like at what point does the RNG just kill me because it needs to kill me, so I restart?
Yeah. Like so many roguelikes I've played feel like, it's like you enter level 2 and you're like, I'm just not going to do it. I didn't do a first like level 1 good enough, and this is it. And this is the first time where it's like, I can come back from this.
You're not giving up like halfway through because you don't have the right build. I think that because you're like, I can still talk to people and increase relationships and possibly get a new item from somebody and like
or see something new.
Yeah,
totally.
And I think like the way that you also upgrade not just your character but the world, I think is like something that I find really interesting in Hades. And I know other roguelikes have done that, but like there's a like the designer, like the interior designer guy
you talk to.
The contractor. But like it'll start building stuff in the actual runs of the level as well. So like you'll be able to like put an item box in every time you like escape one of the worlds, so you can switch out your item, and like that gives you like a better fun tip for everybody. If you have a certain boon you like starting with, equip that person's item that gives you a better chance to get that boon. So like Zeus's item, that's like I think it's like the lightning medallion or whatever.
Yes.
If you start with that, the first boon will usually be a lightning boon.
Nice.
So fun
the
tip.
builds are great. Yeah, with the abilities, Poseidon stuff, Zeus's, Athena. Yeah.
What weapons have you guys really like dug and liked? Because there's 6 different weapons.
The shield.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get a win with the shield right now. So I had the base weapon in.
The weapons, I just unlocked like weapon traits, like you can use Titan's blood.
The aspects.
Change different things. I've been trying all of them. I think they're all. I enter each time thinking I don't know how this weapon's gonna work, and then the boons drop and I get it. Like I didn't understand how the fists worked.
Oh, the fists are awesome.
Dumb. But then Artemis, God of Hunting, drops crit chance, and I was like, oh. Yeah. This makes sense now. I hit 4 times for every 1 time. Crit chance is going to be a lot more useful here, which I think is really cool. I've been using, spoiler alert, James, the gun.
The gun's the only one I don't like.
I
think it's pretty bad.
It's so hard to use that I'm just trying to like wrestle it down.
Yeah. Well, and there's a
of just ka-chunking.
There's a like an upgrade hammer that you can get in every run.
Yes.
And there's an upgrade for the gun that makes it like significantly better. And if it just had that upgrade right away, it'd be perfect. It's where like you don't have to reload. It's like it's like auto fire, and it's like
the reload is definitely a difficult thing to.
It literally makes like that weapon actually good, opposed to like not, which I always think is funny. My favorite weapon is
I'm getting that muscle memory down of like using my thumb to reload it, but it's definitely like I get killed because I forgot to reload.
Yeah. I think the trident is my favorite weapon by far.
The trident? Oh, the spear.
Yeah, the spear. Yeah. It's so good. I think I honestly Hades is one of my game of the years easily.
Yeah.
One thing I don't like is the bosses. I'm not gonna lie.
In
a post Souls world, I think the bosses don't telegraph very well, and I find myself definitely leaning towards ranged weapons just because I can stay away from them.
Yeah.
And as long as I just dodge some of their basic incoming attacks, I'm good. Because trying to beat some of the bosses with the sword, which I'm doing kind of just for fun, is like really kind of a chore.
Yeah.
Because I'll be paying attention to my health bar and just see that I'm like eking out damage just by being close by and not being able to respond fast enough.
Right. I'm with you on that one. I would agree. Yeah. I think the bosses are the weakest part of the game, but they're not bad. They're just, I definitely think the one boss
you get to talk to them, which is even cooler.
Which is cool. The one boss I hate are
fighting them. I like the first boss that you get to is pretty tough.
Yeah.
And then she changes and it stays tough. And the Hydra Leviathan, honestly, not that tough.
No, not at all.
Not that tough.
Eventually he'll upgrade and he's actually a lot harder because he's not stagnant.
So, okay, that's what's better. Like once you get to the higher difficulties, right? Doesn't
you basically get like a pact of punishment is what it's called, and you get to like put like different skull modifiers.
Yeah.
And there's ones that are like it makes the bosses like different, like it adds tactics to the bosses.
Gotcha.
And the Hydra isn't an entirely new arena.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My one little teeny concern is just I'm not feeling the bosses every time I get to a boss. It's not like, all right, I got this. It's like, all right.
Yep. That's how I feel on the third boss, which is the Minotaur and
when you fight 2 at 1.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, that's a pain.
Yeah, and the worst part is
the Minotaur by himself, and I was like,
it sucks. And you get to him all the time. The Minotaur by himself sucks because then you beat him, and then he goes and like you fight him again, and he's like only got a little bit of health left. You're like, this is stupid. Why did I have to fight this guy?
Yeah, well, that's also the bosses have just like a little bit too much health.
Yep. I would agree with that.
The fights just take a little bit too long. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the nature of a roguelike.
Even when you feel great, even you're like I'm like chunking people. I'm like literally like one-shotting these bosses, and you get to the boss, it's still taking too long.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, like I get to a point pretty often in the first level where I just kind of chunk down everybody, one-shot them very quickly, and then I get to the boss, and it's like this 4-minute, 5-minute, just like, oh my god, please
dodge, hit, dodge.
Yeah, it's frantic. It takes a little too long.
I definitely agree that like the bosses take a little too long, and I think the difficulty spike from like World 2 to 3 is like insanely large. Like you go from the lava to the like grass, I forget what it's called.
Elysium.
Elysium, yeah, you go from the lava to the Elysium, and it's like Elysium is significantly harder than anything I've done, like by a mile. And then when you get to the last area,
it's like level 1 has the traps, which is kind of annoying.
Yep.
Level 2 has the lava, which I find really annoying because my get out of jail free card is just to dash constantly.
You just gotta get good, Ted. I'm pretty good with that.
Yeah. You gotta. The lava fucks that up, and then Elysium has the respawning enemies, which just
it's the little carts that I hate that like run into you and explode.
The carts are annoying.
Hate the carts. Yeah.
There's a Mighty of Isaac enemy just like that. It's like the skulls that you can only hit from the back, and it's like they just like they turn on you like at a 90-degree angle. It's like, what do you do?
And a thing that I would say too, as we've talked about, with all of Supergiant's games, their voice acting is incredible.
Yes.
And the fact that this roguelike
most of this is voice acted by the
one dude. Well, yeah, by the crew and the one dude. The guy that did like the Bastion narrator voice, he does like 6 voices in this game.
Yeah, the composer.
Yeah, he's the main guy. He's Agaris.
Yeah.
And Greg Kasavin, who's like the writer, he's like 3 or 4 of the gods.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's really cool. Yeah, I think the dialogue and like the music is fantastic in this game as well. I mean, it's really top tier. Supergiant's always been that.
When I launch the game, it's just like I just want to sit there in the menu for a little bit and just listen to it.
Oh, when you get into a boss fight and it just turns into like a hard rock album,
you're like,
all right,
yeah. I recommend every Supergiant game. If you haven't played any of them, they're all fantastic. Pyre is very underrated. Yeah, it's really good.
I think this one should go down as an example of how to do a roguelike.
Yeah. I think this is
it even has a lot of the dash is like I think of Transistor's dash when I play the dash, and it's really
very similar.
An interesting topic which I'm going to steal, so I'll cite it here. It's from a video by a guy on YouTube called Game Maker's Toolkit. It's a great channel. I highly recommend it, but he has a video about roguelikes and roguelites. Roguelikes being completely static throughout, and your skill is the only difference between surviving and not.
Okay.
Which is like a Spelunky,
Yep.
Versus a roguelite. Which is this game, because as you play it, you will get statistical advantages on your next run, and you will slowly get better. And he has a graph, which I think is really cool, of kind of how the game has a descending difficulty, because as you get better in your
game gets easier,
and statistically better, you'll naturally just get easier, and that's what lets you beat the game.
Okay.
Versus the traditional roguelike, which is just purely your skill.
Yeah, well. But when you play a roguelike, let's say Mighty of Isaac is a roguelike because you start with the base stats every single time.
Yeah.
But once you learn the items that you need and the items that you can get, like you'll just get way better. Because I'm just gonna get the item that like kills everything right away.
That is on you, the player. The game gives you nothing, especially in Binding of Isaac, where it doesn't even describe the items to you. You get to look that up.
You probably can win on like a base run though. Like I haven't seen it, but like with Hades, you probably win.
Someone beat Hades. They beat Hades in 7 minutes using like a purely Hermes run. So they just like modified their speed a bunch, and they were able to just like clear the game in 7 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
So like there's probably a way to do that, but it's just again it requires knowledge, and that's what the rogue. That's
interesting. That's an interesting defining area. Yeah, because I think obviously.
I think I have to land on the roguelite. I really like.
Me too.
Every time, at least I'm progressing in some way. In this case, the story. The traditional. If this was just like my skill level to get to the end and that's it, I may have given up a while ago. But
that's how I felt when I played Spelunky. It was like, because Spelunky 2 just came out, and apparently it's amazing. If you love Spelunky 1, it was like incredible.
People love this game.
I didn't jive with Spelunky because it's like that, where it's like, okay, I die and then I just restart, and I'm back to the like ground zero, and everything I just did for 2.5 hours didn't matter.
Yep.
And like that's really hard for me to like.
It is for me too, and I really hope that this sets an example, I guess, of a roguelite.
Yeah.
If you will, going forward, because this is just a fantastic way to deliver a game from beginning to end.
Really is, and the story is actually really good. Like the actual through line story that you're doing. So I hands down recommend it. We're gonna talk a lot more about Hades, I'm sure, with Game of the Year stuff coming around and everything.
Better.
Oh yeah. Now, before we wrap up the show, we were back. The boys are back in town, as they say. Ted, you have a conundrum that you're coming to because the end of the month is happening soon.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and you want to pick a game. I want to know what game you are going to be playing for this week until next week's show.
I do it on a monthly basis. For those who don't know, there are too many games out and not enough time to play them all.
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of being involved in this is taking your losses and knowing what games you won't be able to play and what games you do want to play. So I play one game a month. That's my focus. I'll get distracted. I'll check things out totally, but I like to pick one that I will stick with. October was Hades. I will, even if I stop liking it, I will keep playing it until October 31st.
Try to roll credits on it. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just to really try and see it from all angles. It really worked out for a lot of games, and I'm trying to pick a November game.
Mm-hmm. Now, what were your
criteria?
Yeah.
Going into my mindset is I'm trying to play games that are important. Games that 5 years from now people might look back on and use it to describe another game. The way we use Spelunky to describe
a roguelike.
Every roguelike that since
then.
Yeah. I would consider that like an important game, or maybe like a Dark Souls, because it influenced so many other things.
Now I want to say what you talked about in your list, if that's okay.
Yeah, I've added like 5 things.
Right. So you said Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Panzer Paladin, Last Guardian, This War of Mine, Spec Ops: The Line, and then I like that you were like maybe Watch Dogs 3, because that game can actually be really good.
Yeah, I noticed it came out on the 29th.
Yeah, I can't wait for the reviews, because if that thing's like an 8 or 9, I'm getting it, because that means they did the any characters playable thing well.
Yeah.
And then you threw in Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, and I'm blanking on the gentleman's name, which I feel bad about. You have your text, right?
Oh yeah, what do you need me to read?
The guy's name.
Fumi Uedo?
Yeah, the Japanese designer.
Fumito Uedo.
He did Shadow of the Colossus. He did The Last Guardian.
Oh yeah, okay.
He has a whole design philosophy about minimalist game design, which I thought was really interesting.
So my personal recommendation off what you've said, Ted, besides maybe Watch Dogs Legions, if that's good, because then I think a modern game would be good for all of us to talk about. But Shadow of the Colossus is one of the great games of all time.
Yeah.
It's really cheap on PlayStation right now. The remake, I think, is probably got to be $20 maybe.
Yeah, both of his games are like $15 just on Amazon Prime if you buy the disc.
Okay, I'm sure on the network too, it's probably not bad. And then Spec Ops: The Line, which you can get on Steam, I know for sure.
I'm sure I have it.
Is one of the I think one of the best third person shooter campaigns ever. That campaign's fantastic, and it's like 6 hours.
Gears?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh yeah, the writing in it is so good.
Yeah,
interesting. I should play then.
I really recommend it. Nolan
it's a game that has been brought up for the past 10 years. It's like this is how.
So then it's
games should do art.
Yeah, both those games are in my top 20 games of all time. I think they're brilliant. Especially Shadow. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, those are my recommendations for you on that list. James, what do you think you're going to be playing the rest of the week?
Oh, this week. Not November.
No, we're not in November. Just Ted is.
Yeah.
Rest of the week, more Hades, because I've not touched it. I'm kind of like easing back off Genshin and trying to get into Hades.
Good.
And then
I do want to check out Genshin just because I think
I recommend
type for our dark future, and I want to be ready. Yeah,
because you could play through like the first 10 hours without like needing any type of like leveling. You'll play through the pure campaign, and
it's like once you hit level 14 is when something opens up to you, like a real grind starts to happen.
I'm at like, it's called like adventure rank. I'm at AR 17, and now it's starting to get a grind. Once you get to 16, that's when you can do co-op.
Okay,
so it's fun. And then the map is huge. Like there's just so much to explore, and you can teleport. But it's fun.
Yeah, I'd be curious to try that out. That might be something I briefly check out. I'm just gonna keep playing probably Hades and Adventures.
Just like
I got problems.
You play like the first couple hours. If you like it, then continue. But if not, then
back out.
Yeah, you'll see what it's about like in the first 3 hours, because you fight like a boss, and you get into the story and figure out what's going on.
And if Watch Dogs Legion is good, I'm definitely going to pick that up, because I actually did like the first 2 Watch Dogs.
Yeah, I've never played the first 2 Watch Dogs, but them talking about you can play any character
sounds awesome.
Has me think they might be taking ideas from like Hitman, where it's just like a world that happens and you cause havoc in it.
And it looks wacky. Like they're like not afraid to be wacky.
Yeah,
which I'm cool with. I like wacky games.
Saints Row, please.
Yeah, Saints Row is good. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, boys. Thank you so much for watching the 33rd episode of the Sidescape Gaming Podcast. We will see you next week. And please subscribe, share, and tell your mom.
Yep, tell your mom.
Okay, I'm going to go through every way to summon Yu-Gi-Oh cards real quick until you quit quit recording. So there's